two good practices since the last time we played, and ready, obviously, to play a tough game at Utah.
Utah's tough at home. What gives them that edge?
Of course, they're talented enough. I think that the atmosphere, their home crowd, their fan base, and I think for the most part, most guys play with a different level of energy and confidence when you're playing at home. Yeah.
They don't tend to turn the ball over much, but then they also don't force turnovers a whole lot. Do you think you guys are improving on that front?
It depends on how the game is going. I like to think we are. We spend a lot of time working on it. Just have to do it. I think for us more than anything is who's handling the ball, when they're handling the ball, and trying to make decisions. I think guys have to do what they do best. So just the ball has to be in the right hands, and you have to make good decisions with the ball in your hands.
What do you make of teams sort of forcing Charlie inside and forcing him to make decisions? Is that because they sort of developed a scouting report on him? Is that something you kind of want to fix to some extent?
I don't want to fix it if he's getting in the lane. I think that's very important. If he can get in the lane, now you create plays, you make guys help up. And you saw in the last game, I thought he did his best job all season of passing the ball behind the bigs, throwing the lobs to Ivan. So, again, if he's getting in the lane, then that's great because I trust the fact that he'll make good decisions. I think that the biggest key with Charlie is just the type of passes in the lane. Sometimes you have to put it up off the glass because I think maybe in the last 4 or 5 games he tried to make passes as opposed to really shooting the ball when you get that deep in the lane with big guys. Make the play, shoot the ball. But if they force him in the lane, I'm fine with it because I think he'll make good decisions.
Utah is one of those teams early in this season, and you had 5 or 6 of these games where you'd be ahead by 7, 8, 10, 12, and they'd come back and come ahead, and it took you 2 overtimes to get Utah last time. What does the game against Oregon State tell you about where you guys are in terms of finishing games, and does it kind of lie to you a little bit?
I just think you have to finish the game, and it's really that simple. But you play a course of a game. We've been in games where we've been down, got back in games. I just think when you get big leads, somewhere in there mentally you let up a little bit, or your lineups change. You're not as aggressive, you're not as assertive, and we talk about it all the time, keeping your foot on the pedal, and just have to do it. Take care of the basketball. Don't get careless with the ball, because I thought that was a stress there, even in the Oregon State game. We might have had 5 turnovers. All of a sudden, we ended up with 10 turnovers in the game. Now, we had 3 in a row, which were just poor job taking care of the ball, bad passing, and those 3 turnovers that we created. But the only thing in that situation, those 3 turnovers didn't cost us baskets on the other end where they got out in transition. But it's just staying mentally locked in for 40 minutes. So however many minutes you play as an individual, you have to stay locked in and take care of the task at hand and what your assignment is.
How did Cuonzo hurt you last time out, now that you look at tape?
Well, he's a good player. I don't know if necessarily good players hurt you. They do what they do. It's the other guys that you have in a scouting report and you say, well, he can't hurt us. This guy can't do this. But Kuzma's a good player. You expect him to score points. He does a great job. It's one of those deals where if he's not making the shots from outside, if he's not scoring with low post moves, you still have to keep him off the glass. So he's a guy that's going to find ways to score the basketball. So you're not just stopping him one way. He can play basketball. He's a good player. He's an aggressive player. And when he plays, he wants to play in the NBA. So there's a certain level of energy, passion, and toughness that he plays with. And he's a good ball player. So you're not stopping him. He's one of those guys at our level. He just missed shots. But, again, when he shoots, you got to keep him off the glass.
Utah is right up there in the scoring. And yet, do they get up and down? I don't remember that they really run a lot. Well, how do they score a lot?
I think a couple areas where they score well, they get out in transition, and I think probably more so that you've probably seen them in the past. They get out in transition, but they also score a lot of points in the lane. They're big guys with Kuzma, even Collette. They're not necessarily back to the baskets where they post up the whole time. They can face up and make moves toward the rim off the dribble. So when that happens, we have big guys that are able to do that. It spreads you out defensively. So now your bigs have to go on the perimeter as opposed to corralling around the rim. It's a little bit different, but both of those guys can face up and make plays, and it opens that lane up, and their guards will attack the rim as well.
What is the biggest thing you learned from facing Utah the first time? Obviously, crazy game. What did you learn from that experience?
Well, they're a good team. Of course, they're a good team. they make you make plays when you're on offense. I mean, it's just not a case of coming down pass here, get a shot. They force you to make plays with their defense. They mix it up a little bit, give you different looks. And one thing you can't do is you can't be passive defensively. I mean, offensively, you can't be passive. You have to be aggressive. You have to make plays. You have to attack the rim. And you have to make them move. If you allow their bigs to hang around the rim, then it's to their advantage defensively. But you got to move them. You got to move them because they're good. If they have you second guessing and doubting and getting stagnant offensively, then they're really good.
With just the one day between the two games, and Utah obviously is the focus, but how much time do you spend in Colorado? How tough is it to kind of get ready for that second game with only the one day in between?
Well, obviously, the good thing about it, we've played them before, so that part helps. But I think if there's an advantage, both teams have them because of the short turnaround, and if there's a disadvantage, both teams have it because of the short turnaround. It just, at that point, it's playing basketball because they have just as much time or lack thereof of scouting us as we do them. Because for us, the most important game right now is Utah because that's the one that's in front of us. But no, that's really not my concern. I mean, Colorado's a tough team. And they have two of their better players back that didn't play against us, so that's another issue to deal with. But right now, we have to put all of our eggs in the basket of Utah.
How do those two guys change game plan?
Well, they're two starters, so obviously that changed things. If there's any plus behind that, they're more fours and fives. So even though Xavier plays fourth and then he shoots three balls, so that's a little bit different. But they're around the rim, so it's another big guy. Because again, I've always felt like we've had an advantage when Cam and King can play on the floor. But the more they're off the floor, then we're not as good defensively.
But are you going to experiment putting them on the floor together? They play, 6 minutes together?
Meaning not necessarily together, obviously, unless they're two traditional bigs, we can do it together. But one of them have to be on the floor for us to be as good as we need to be defensively, yes.
Charlie's had some games where he'll go 3 for 13 or 5 for 15, where he's just shooting and nothing's falling. Do you want him to continue taking that many shots when I know you want the offense to run through Ivan?
I want him to play basketball. So if he sees those shots, shoot them. Shoot them. You don't have time to second guess and doubt in live competition and battle. You have to play the game. Now, obviously, timeouts, we might say. The one thing I'll say to him, especially on some of those threes, to step in or to be shot ready, but don't shoot it. Step in, because oftentimes he's probably 3 or 4 inches behind the three-point line, but step in and be shot ready, then play from there. But no, you have to play the game. We don't have a certain amount of numbers for guys, how many shots they take. I mean, if the shot is there, you have to be aggressive. No time to be passive.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.